I've started and sold 3 venture-backed companies before the age of 30, and here are 50 realizations that changed my life as an entrepreneur. First is, startup valuation is literally a made-up number. What I mean by that is that, venture capitalists or people who want to buy your company in the early stages, based on fear of losing the deal, will literally make up a number that is, valuation is more art than science. And that was a big shock to me. The second, it's impossible to work with people who don't answer texts within 24 hours. Now, this is a bit spicy. I think that, especially at the early stages, you want to have people that are gonna respond to you. And of course, people have weekends, and I totally get that, and you want to respect people's weekends and time off. But if you're texting someone, obviously something is really, really important. Maybe your app is down or your software is down, so I think having your core crew being able to respond to texts quickly is helpful. The third, the internet can be your lottery ticket or your prison sentence. Now, for me, the internet has been a lottery ticket, especially social. I've had tweets that have gotten 70,000 likes. I've had Jeff Bezos follow me on Twitter. It's gotten me into some crazy rooms. But it can also be a prison sentence if you're scrolling Instagram and it's making you feel bad. So how do you orient it to be more of a lottery ticket than a prison sentence? That's a prompt for you. Number 4, if Abercrombie & Fitch can rebrand, and their stock is up 285% in 2023, then you can rebrand too. Self-explanatory. You could rebrand at any time, reinvent yourself at any time. Number 5, having an internet audience is still wildly underpriced. Number 6, build products that no one asks for, but everyone wants. That's something that I've learned. When you build a product that no one asks for, but everyone wants, they see the product and they're gonna share that product with everyone. Number 7, it's actually a good idea to be poor in your 20s and reinvest everything in yourself, learnings, travel, network, figuring out who you are. I think your 20s is all about learning, and it's about building assets, and those assets could be not necessarily bank account assets. They can be who your network. It could be experiences, it could be skills. So I think you should look at your 20s as multiple banks, not just a financial bank. Number 8, Google is probably not going to copy your startup. Build your startup and ignore the incumbents that are going to copy your startup. Number 9, content is your salesperson that works for you 24/7. Number 10, look for opportunities that are low status now, but probably high status in a few years. So for example, building a bootstrap startup a couple of years ago was pretty low status. Cash flow was low status. It was all about how do I raise hundreds of millions of dollars, build a unicorn, billion-dollar company. But now I would say that the tides are turning. Now having cash flowing internet businesses are becoming a bit more high status. Number 11, lifestyle businesses are still massively underrated. You can often turn them into non-lifestyle businesses if you want. So that's the thing, what is a lifestyle business? A lifestyle business is generally a non-venture backed business. Sometimes it's a service business, maybe it's an agency, and it's there to support your lifestyle. But what people don't realize is that these lifestyle businesses could turn into larger outcome businesses that you can eventually sell for large sums of money if you want. So you have that option, never forget it. I'll give you an example. You can start a service business, learn about the problems that a particular group has, your customers have, and then maybe you build software or a physical product that you sell to them. Number 12, avoid dependency on anything. Social apps, VCs, etc. Freedom is 2 words, self-sustaining. Number 13, taking a break doesn't mean you're lazy. Burnout is real. I've been burnt out a few times, and it's tough to come back from. It takes a long time. So what I've learned is that now I take regular breaks. It could be taking a weekend off or just taking an afternoon off, going into nature or something like that. But you do need to recharge if you're gonna last in the entrepreneurship world. Number 14, whatever you do, don't be mid-curve. Basically, don't be mediocre, be exceptional at what you do. Number 15, the only things that should change your mood are things that will change your life. It is so easy for us to have our moods changed. You know, a client cancels on you. You apply for a job and you don't get it, but you really wanted it. There's only a few things that will actually change your life, and those are generally health related, sometimes, you know, wealth related, but very rarely. So don't let things that are small, like don't sweat this small stuff, is basically what I'm saying. Number 16, copycats are a nuisance, not killers. They are usually mosquitoes, not sharks. If you're going to be building anything, content, a business, and you are going to gain popularity, people will see that and they will try to copy you. It is the nature of human beings. It's also nature of the internet, but don't worry about it. It's the cost of doing business. They are usually mosquitoes. Number 17, good design can't fix a poor product, but good design can multiply a product that's working. So you want to have your UX, user experience, nailed and amazing before you layer on beautiful design. Number 18, people follow a journey, not an account. There's so many social accounts that people could be following, and that's not really what people want. They want to follow a journey. They want to be along for the ride. So how do you create content with that in mind? Number 19, if you're doing stuff you hate, you aren't rich. If you're spending your days in a lot of meetings and you don't like meetings, then even if your bank account is showing, you know, a lot of money, how rich are you? How wealthy are you? Number 20, don't create a startup without a why now. A why now basically means like, why should this business exist right now? What has changed in the world such that it's opened up an opportunity for this business? So I'll give you an example. You know, Uber, you download the Uber app, you press a button and a car comes to you. A lot of things in terms of why now had to align for that to make sense. For example, the mobile app store that didn't exist 4 years before Uber came out. GPS on mobile phones, people putting their credit cards on mobile phones. So as the world changes, take note, because that'll help you with your why now and why this should exist. Number 21, strangers don't want to hear about you. They want to talk about themselves or better themselves. This was a realization just about people in general. People want to talk about themselves, so let them talk about themselves. Number 22, the best negotiators talk 10% of the time and listen 90%. If you want to negotiate, you sit at a table, and what a lot of people do, or what I used to do when I first started negotiating, is I would just talk a lot. Here's all the reasons why I think I'm worth this amount. And that's kind of a rookie move. The move is to say your point, say what you want really quickly and really succinctly, and let the other side talk a lot. As they're talking, you're taking notes and you're clarifying in your head what you're going to come back with, and let them just sort of run on. The more data that you're informed with, the better you can be as a negotiator. So you're just like equipping yourself with data. Number 23, good things happen when you add value to people's lives through content and community. You know, I give a lot of content away for free communities and stuff like that. And my strategy is basically earn trust. And if you earn people's trust, good things will happen. It's worked for me, it's gonna work for you. Number 24, you can learn a lot about someone by their likes on Twitter or X. Sometimes when I want to learn about someone, I'll go to their Twitter account, I'll look at if they're active, and I'll look at their likes. And you can kind of get a sense as to what people are thinking in that moment. It's pretty interesting and underutilized by most people. Number 25, first find the niche, then learn from the community, then the startup idea will come to you. A lot of people, when they want to build a business, they try to just come up with startup ideas. The way to come up with startup ideas that actually work is you find a niche, an underserved niche, and you build some community. Maybe it's a private community, maybe it's a public community, but you build a community of people that have these problems, needs, wants, desires, and you just listen and take notes. And over time, you'll develop ideas to serve those people. That's business in a nutshell. Number 26. On hiring, if it isn't a hell yeah, it's a hell no. Never compromise for fit. This one is an important one because earlier in my career, I would hire people who might look like on paper that they're a perfect fit, but there's just something off. And earlier in my career, I would still hire them because on paper, they're perfect. I'd rather hire someone who has less of the perfect fit, went to the right schools, worked at the right companies, but is willing to learn and just has that grit to them, and that's going to fit with the people and the culture of our company and our holding company. So don't compromise on that. Number 27, startups never go according to plan. There's no real plan for startups, only a direction. If you follow that, you'll be a lot more calm when things happen, because it's just par for the course when problems arise, and they will arise. Number 28, the best businesses are the ones that look like a movement. It needs to be an identity, not a product. So what do I mean by that? An identity is something that people can really connect with. For example, I am a cold plunge person. I do a keto diet. I drive a Volvo. Now, if you're, one of these people, maybe you're a Volvo person, a keto person, like it becomes a part of your identity. So the best businesses look like these movements, these life stages, this is me, this is who I am. So if you start with the movement and then you map out the customer journey, then the customer journey becomes these products that you essentially could sell along the way, so that people can become more intertwined with the movement. Those are the best businesses. Number 29, your identity is never your company ever. Your company is your business. Number 30, change scenery 2 to 3 times per day to be extra creative. I'm guilty of this a lot of time. I'll just sit down in the mornings and basically not leave my desk except for grabbing a little bit of food and coffee. It's good to switch up the scenery, go for a walk. If you work from home, maybe you work from home in the morning and then you go work from a coffee shop in the afternoon. Changing the scenery is super, super important, and just makes you become a bit more of a productive person. 31, people always want to see behind the scenes. So if you create content, the behind the scenes content is sometimes the most interesting. If you watch a movie and then at the end, you're watching the bloopers, it's definitely something that is very memorable. So people remember the behind the scenes content. It's often worth the investment. Number 32, the happiest people live pretty simple lives, not chasing more and more. In our culture, it's always more money, more followers, more this, more that. But I've noticed some of the happiest people that I know aren't always on the chase, aren't always on the hedonic treadmill. In fact, they're playing a completely different game. Number 33, if there's an active community, there's a business there. And there's probably a business worth creating. Number 34, digital businesses beats any laundromat, self-storage, or vending machine business. It's basically easier and better margins to build internet-based businesses. So I know it's actually been a bit of a trend to focus on boring businesses like laundromats and stuff like that. It's beyond me. I don't really understand why, but I think that if you have a great digital business, a wonderful internet business, they're asset light, it doesn't take a lot to build, especially now with things like AI, no code. You can automate it really well. You don't have to pay rent. So there's a lot of pros with building on the internet. Consider it. Number 35, only create 50% plus margin businesses like SaaS, paid communities, etc. So when you're thinking about building your business and you're prioritizing how you're going to monetize, think about high margin. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how few people do it. And I've been guilty of this in the past too. 36, cash flow over valuation any day of the week. What I mean by that is, who cares if a venture fund is going to say your business is worth $1 billion? It feels nice, but building cash flowing businesses is ultimately a huge reward from a financial standpoint. So prioritize cash flow, don't prioritize valuation if you have to prioritize one. 37, hire global talent. The world is bigger than New York City or Silicon Valley. There's tons of incredible people all over the world. So if you're building an internet business, there's no reason why you'd limit yourself to a particular geography. Number 38, you create your own narrative. Narratives drives word of mouth, which drives revenue, which is your oxygen. Number 39, if something is sold out, customers want it 10 times more. This is literally just human nature. Number 40, diversify cash flow every year, multiple bets, multiple products. Maybe you're a solopreneur, maybe you built one cash flowing asset. Diversify. You never know what's going to happen. And the beauty is, like I mentioned, easier than ever to create products now. So it's worth diversifying your revenue with multiple products. We're often creating one product per month just as an experiment. Think about what your cadence might look like for building new products so you can diversify. Number 41, selling your first company is an emotional journey. I remember selling my first company, and boy, it was ups and downs. And it's always ups and downs when you're selling your company, but first company, definitely the most. If you're preparing to sell your company, or you think you're gonna sell your company within the next year or two, just note that it will take an emotional toll. You will have ups and downs, so buckle up. Number 42, designing rituals into your community is what brings people back. Remind them to see you tomorrow. So many internet communities are zombie communities. I think the 90+% of them are basically dead. The ones that work really well are the ones that have rituals like programming, events, a person who's reminding them to come back. Don't forget about rituals. Number 43, being around people who have a clear understanding of what they want from life is refreshing. Number 44, competitors can copy your products, but they cannot copy your community. So always be prioritizing building your community, building that identity, fostering that, build that brand connection. It is worth it. Number 45, make friends with people in your industry, earn their trust, and don't ask for anything for a long time. Overwhelm them with value, it'll pay back. Number 46, listen to podcasts, take notes. Basically, like you're sitting in the room with the world's greatest founders and entrepreneurs. Now, I'm not saying I'm the world's greatest entrepreneur. I'm not, but I have had a unique set of experiences, and I'm just telling you, I've distilled everything I've learned in these like 50 little tidbits so that you can remember it. And I'm just like riffing with you in real time. And if you hear something that resonates with you, write it down. Post it on a sticky note. Post it on your desk so you don't forget. Tweet about it. Write a blog post about it so it's drilled into your psyche. So many people of us take in all this content and they're like, oh, that's such a good idea. Or even if you disagree with something, I really disagree with that. They don't write it down so they forget. Don't be that person. 47, pick a niche and make a meme page. If you understand the memes, you understand the people. Don't build until you understand the memes. What are memes? Memes are something that people will share. It's something that they look at, they get it, often it's visual, and they'll share it. I do this a lot, I'll go on Reddit or I'll go on Twitter or Instagram. And when I'm looking at a movement that I'm trying to create, I'll see like, what are the memes that people are sharing? And I'll sort of bank it. I'll have like a meme bank, see what they're saying. And from that, try to create my own memes. 48, the only audience you have is the audience you own. Email, text, community. If the algorithm changes, or someone, Elon Musk buys Twitter, changes it to X, and all of a sudden he's promoting images and videos and you only like to write text, you learn firsthand that you don't own the audience. So, the best day to start an email newsletter, the best day to, collect text, the best way to start a community is once you have a significant amount of internet audience, usually it's in the few thousands, and then you could start siphoning some of those to get their data and to get them know them more. But yeah, remember the only audience you have is the audience you own. 49, there's a fine line between generalist and procrastinator. Number 50, the last but not least, people expect opportunities to come to them. They rarely do. Assume you're alone and go after it. And I think that's a perfect way to end. Opportunities won't come for you. You have to go out there, you have to send the DM, you have to post on social, you have to create the community, you have to create the product, you have to learn the skill, you have to go to the events, go get it, and you'll be surprised what this internet could offer you. It's pretty amazing. And I hope you enjoyed some of my 50 realizations that I've learned as an entrepreneur. And let me know if you do. Write in the comments, in the YouTube comments, which one was your favorite, which one you hated. If you have any to add that of your own realizations, I'd love to hear it. I read every single comment. See you later. Bye.